Hello friends, today I'm going to be talking about Lolita dresses that I've sold and why I sold them and if I regret it. And this idea was actually given to me from someone somewhere and I don't really remember where. I'm so sorry. To be honest, I've been kind of feeling overwhelmed lately with messages, comments, and that sounds so pretentious, but I just want to apologize that I'm not able to get to all of your comments and messages, and sometimes they get all mixed up in here, but thank you so much to whoever gave me this idea. This was really smart. I think that it's interesting to hear why someone sold a dress, and it can help you consider things when buying a dress. It can also help you if you need to do some spring cleaning or want to buy something else and maybe need to clear out some room in your closet for something. It can help you kind of look critically at the things that you own and see different reasons if you want to keep them or if you want to get rid of them. I'm just gonna look through my lace market sales to try to remember all the dresses I've sold. The most recent thing that I sold was my Little Bird Sinfonia OP set. And the reason that I sold it is because it's just very over the top and hard to style in multiple ways. And I found that it was mostly just sitting in my closet and not getting worn. I feel like this is the sort of dress that you really need like a big occasion for, like a tea party or a fancy meetup. And I mean, that's not to say that you can't wear this on a daily basis. Like, you can wear this to the post office, you can wear this to the grocery store. Like, I am not here to judge you, but for me personally, I just found that I wasn't going to it because I felt like I needed to really do over the top looks with it because of the sleeves especially. And I love this print so much, so I actually bought the JSK just because I could style it more ways, and I found that it gives me more options to wear it. And I would love to just keep this OP for special occasions, but the reality is that I live in an apartment in Toronto. I don't have enough space to keep pieces that I'm not wearing as often. I would love to have a Lolita room one day when I finally cave in and move to Texas and the rent of my apartment is like the same for a house. That's when I'll get a Lolita room. But yeah, I'm not throwing shade at Tyler. I am so jealous of her setup. And I'm so jealous of her house. Anyways, the next thing that I sold was Alice and the Pirates Treasure Hunt in the Mystic Island Mary JSK Navy. Now, this dress sat in my closet for so long and I love it, but it's just not my style. I wanted this dress for so long, it took me so long to get it, but then once I got it, I really had developed more of what I wore in Lolita, whereas when I first saw it, I was still kind of figuring that out. And it's just, this dress, still looking at it, is so beautiful, but the colors just don't work with what I own. And I'm not really willing to go out and buy a bunch of blouses and tights and accessories and shoes to pair with the one dress, you know? It's a beautiful dress, and I feel like if I maybe had it in the black version, I could style it, because I found that my own personal style is either all pastel-y rainbows, or it's like primary colors like reds and blues and like bright colors, or it's really just black. And this is a blue and brown dress, so it doesn't really fit in with the other pieces that I've collected well. I've sold a couple other things, but the next one I want to talk about is Kumi-chan's Sugar Baby Icing Cookie JSK, which I actually sold to a friend of mine in my local community. I'm so happy to see it live on and being worn really well and really cutely. The reason I sold this dress is kind of interesting, I think. It's too similar to Little Bear's Cafe, to me. It's obviously, the print is not the same, but when you look at it from afar, it just kind of looks too similar. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but again, coming from the mindset of just not having a lot of space, I'm trying to really think out and not have too many of the same type of piece, if that makes sense. The ways that I would style this dress were also the ways that I would style Little Bear's Cafe, and I'm never ever going to sell Little Bear's Cafe because a fan gave me that dress. It means so much to me. Even though there's squirrels on it, I ignore the squirrels and I just look at the bears. I tell myself that the squirrels are hamsters in cosplay. I don't wear a lot of brown main pieces, so I felt that anytime I wanted to wear a brown main piece, I was turning to Little Bear's Cafe, and this one was just kind of sitting. One thing I really love about this dress was that I bought it at the Baby the Star Shine Bright store in San Francisco, and that was a great experience. And I got to wear this dress in a lot of different ways, so I also didn't feel bad selling it because it's not like I never wore it. It definitely had its life with me and its use and its purpose, but I just found that I'd worn it all the way that I wanted to, and I wasn't turning to it as much because of Little Bear's Cafe. This one I wanted to talk about because when I sold it, people were mad and did not understand, and I wanted to clarify a little bit. So I got Jewel Marine Pink OP from Zen Plus, a collaboration that I did with them. And after I was done with the collaboration, I sold it because, to be quite honest, it did not fit me. There's no shirring in it, and it was uncomfortable, and it was laying on my ribs. It wasn't at my waist, so it wasn't like I was ever going to fit it unless I got surgery to change my ribs, or if I altered it. And I didn't want to alter it because if I really loved the dress, I would look into a way to alter it, but I really wasn't happy with it. I didn't have that many ways to style it because it was an OP. The sleeves were not super comfortable, and I didn't want to like put in all this work in finding someone and paying to alter it when I wasn't ultimately going to wear it that much. So I sold it. People were confused as to why I sold a dress that I got from a sponsorship, and I wanted to explain that part a little bit. Whenever I do a sponsorship, there's different types of sponsorships that I do. And my first, I think this is one of my first or my first Zen Plus sponsorship, it was only in exchange for product. So I was basically doing work to get a product. So my payment was the product. And I would include in my contract that I had the right to sell the product because that was basically my payment. And unfortunately, dresses don't pay my bills. So I would always include in my contract, whenever I do work that's for product, I would include that I can sell it because then I can make money from it. I'm fortunate now that a lot of the times I do get paid promotions, and I've done a lot of work with Zen Plus now that's paid. So I'm really, really thankful for that, so I don't have to do it as much. But definitely during this time, I was struggling a bit, and I needed money, and I couldn't afford to keep these dresses that I was getting for free, but not really for free, because I was doing work, and they were my payment. I always try to include in my videos, whether it's a paid promotion or if it's PR or in exchange for product. So there will be on screen or in the description, like, these items were sent to me, like you just have to look for that. And also, anytime that I'm paid for something, I always put the little insert on YouTube that says includes paid promotion. So yes, so I was not breaching any contract by selling this. There was no issues with me selling it, but people saw it as like, oh, you got this dress for free and now you're selling it to make a profit, like, ugh. But I didn't really get it for free. I got it in exchange for work. Hope that makes sense. And if you ever see me selling stuff that I've gotten from sponsorships, that's what it is and how it works. Bunnie in Black Nurse Jumper JSK. I loved this dress, and so many people were really disappointed that I sold it. As much as I love Menhera style and the medical themes, I love seeing it, I just don't think that I'd pull it off. And even this coordinate was like so controversial. There were people that hated it and there were people that loved it. I think this is the cord that I've gotten the most fan art of ever. I just don't like it on me. I don't know. I feel like for me, when it comes to medical themes, I really, really like red and pink color combinations, and I like to style it in that way. But all of the different colors and stuff, it's just hard for me to style, and I'm not a fan of how it looks on me. This dress was also kind of difficult because it wasn't shaped like a traditional Lolita JSK. It was more just like alternative fashion, just J fashion, just cutesy. It was like very boxy, but I tried to make it into a Lolita shape because that's what I'm used to working with and that's what I like. I've seen so many cool coordinates of this dress, and I hope that the person who bought it has had a lot of fun with it because I do love this dress. I just wasn't a fan of working with it on myself. French Cafe OP in blue. I sold this a while back. I wore this dress a lot, and I feel like with the blue and reds, I kind of ran out of ways to style it, and I really want to get the JSK version of this in pink. That's the next thing that I'm really working towards buying and looking for, is the French Cafe JSK in pink. Because I just feel like with my wardrobe and with my hair, I could style it a lot more ways than blue. I love blue and I love how blue looks on me, but I definitely think that I have less ways to style it. Plus it was an OP, so it was a bit challenging. My cream cookie collection, I loved that dress and I tried every which way to wear it, and I feel like I wore it for 2 years straight. Like, seriously, from like 2014 to 2016, I think I just only wore that dress. I swear, every memory I have from those years is wearing that dress. I loved it so much, it lived its life with me, but it was definitely a challenging dress because it's not shaped as well as other Lolita dresses. It's more like a baby doll kind of. It's not entirely a baby doll cut, but it is more, it doesn't go like this. It doesn't have a waist really, and the sleeves made it challenging, but it was a really beautiful dress. I am not really a fan of the JSK version of this. I think that Tyler looks absolutely beautiful in it, but I don't like the solid and then the print. So I don't know if I would ever own Cream Cookie Collection again, because I don't know, I just, if they released this print in a different cut, I would consider it, but I'm not really a fan of any of the cuts. If I had unlimited space, I would probably buy the OP again, just to like have and wear on occasion. I wanted to talk about this dress too. It's Kumi-chan's Sweet Chocolate JSK from Baby the Stars Shine Bright, and I love this dress. It's beautiful, it's cut really nicely. The pink is so weird on my skin tone. I have pink undertones, and sometimes pinks look really flattering on me, and other times they make me look orange. And this one makes me look hella orange. No matter what I did, it made my skin just look so weird. And it doesn't really appear that off in pictures. Like, it kind of photographs differently every time. The pink is off. I still love the print. I love the dress. It's great. But every time I wore it, I was like sitting there trying to color correct my photos and figure out how to make my skin look less weird. And then I would wear the exact same makeup and pair things the exact same way with a different pink, and I'd love it and look fine. It's interesting how much undertones can play with colors of fabrics. The last dress I wanted to talk about that I sold, that I kind of regret now, is one that I sold at Fairy Tale Boutique. And that was Toy Fantasy. If you're worried that me talking about the print and mentioning things will ruin it for you, then end the video here. Thanks so much for watching. Stay lovely. I love Toy Fantasy. It's really cute. It's really pretty. I want to own it now, but when I owned it, I was very, very straight edge. I didn't smoke, drink, partake in any kind of drugs. Like, people ask me to make videos on it, but it's just a more personal thing. Maybe I'll talk about it on Patreon or something at some point. But yes, I was straight edge for a very long time, and I used to be very passionately straight edge. Like, ugh! Now I started drinking when I was 28. I don't consider myself straight edge anymore. I used to be very, very, very anti-weed, and I still don't smoke weed myself, but I also just don't care. Like, if you smoke weed, that's fine, that's great. But someone pointed out to me in whatever, 2013, 2014, whenever this was, someone pointed out to me that one of the bunnies on Toy Fantasy looks like it's smoking a joint. And I just could not get over it. Now I'm like, who the cares? Like, it's kind of funny. It's cute.
But at that time, I was so distraught, I couldn't unsee it. I was like, ew, this is gross. This is like a weed paraphernalia dress. I can't keep it anymore. And I sold it to Fairy Tale Boutique.
And within literal minutes, there's a girl who's my friend now and who worked for Fairy Tale Boutique afterwards, actually. She bought it right away. And she immediately was like, I bought your dress, da, da, da. And I was like, cool. And I didn't tell her, you know. She's like, why did you get rid of it? And I was like, oh, you know, I just had worn it a lot. Every time I wore it, I just looked at it and I was like, oh my god, there's like a 420 Blaze It bunny on my dress. Stupid. Who cares? Who cares? Also, it's blowing bubbles. It's not actually smoking weed, it's blowing bubbles. Anyways, I hope this has given you some insight or entertainment. Let me know if there's any weird reasons that you've sold dresses, or if there's any dresses that you regret selling, or if there's any dresses that you're really glad you sold. I would love to hear more stories in the comments, and as always, stay lovely.